Now this section is a comparison of segments. Remember, we spoke about a segment. A segment is a combination of a dimension and a metric with certain conditional values applied either on dimension or on metric or both. Okay, we will study in some of the later modules how to create a segment, but here I am just demonstrating if you want to compare the segments. For example, here I want to compare all the sessions versus sessions coming from, say, the male visitors and the female visitors. So here if you click on this, it will allow you to choose the segments, and here you can see these are the segments that have been created. We will learn how to create the segments in, as I said, in one of the subsequent modules. But among these segments created, I can select the female user and I can select the male users, and I go down. And I apply this here. Okay, so now you can see that the orange line is the line for the female users, the green line is the line for the male users, and the blue is the line for all sessions. Now you might have already noticed and got surprised that the male and the female user, these two lines or these two values, do not add up to all user. So here you see the male user is 4,659, female is 2,226, whereas all sessions is 13,000. So 4,000 and 2,000 do not add up to all sessions. So you may be surprised that what category of users the remaining sessions are coming from. Now we will again study about this data, this logic of Google Analytics a little deeper later on. But essentially the way Google analyzes the demographics data is based on the surfing pattern of visitors. Google does not necessarily have your individual credentials. For example, right now if I am surfing the Salt and Soap website, this is the website on whose data lab we are working. So if I am visiting this, Google does not necessarily know my profile who is visiting this website now, because I may not be logged into Google to give to enable Google get that data. Most users do not surf websites after logging in Google. Some do, but most do not. So what Google does, and Google of course doesn't recognize individual users, Google recognizes only the IP address from where the visit is coming. So assuming that the IP address is static, what Google does, it tries to analyze the surfing behavior of the visitors from a particular IP address. What kind of websites I am surfing, what kind of topics interest me, and based on those characteristics, Google statistically predicts whether the visitor is a male or a female. Okay, and based on that, it shows the analytics of how many male visitors have visited the website and how many female visitors have visited the website. So obviously the ones that Google are not able to predict or not able to analyze whether they belong to the male category or the female category based on surfing behavior, those are not shown either as male or as female visitors. And that is why you will see that the sum of the male visitors, sessions for male visitors, and the sessions for female visitors here do not add up to all the sessions. However, if you see the numbers, which is around 50% of the total sessions, where Google is able to analyze whether the visits are from male visitors or female visitors, that number is sufficient consider them to be statistically relevant and extrapolate the rest of the data based on that. So for example, in this case, it can be safely assumed that this particular website, the number of visits from male visitors is more than double that of the female visitors. So that's a very safe assumption, even though Google does not have all the data related to the gender of the visitors. Okay, so this is when you compare the segments. So this is the first part of the Google Analytics report. You will see that in some cases this warning in yellow comes, which says that some data in this report may have been removed when a threshold value was applied. What this means is, if Google finds that in some cases the number of sessions in this particular case, or any metric, the number is so low that it can be probably extrapolated to individually identifiable information, in that case Google will not consider that data and will take it off from the analysis. So that's why you will see in some of the cases you will get this warning, and in some cases Google may not be able to provide data because the total number of instances or total number of data points in the particular consideration set is so low that Google feels that you can extrapolate it to personally identifiable data, and hence Google decides to remove that from analysis. As of now, I'll remove this segment so that we go back to our previous graph. We will obviously come back to segments and understand how to create segments and analyze them in some of the subsequent courses.